Yo, what's up guys, AJC here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Jake Paul exposing Conor McGregor and making the biggest mistake of his life. But you're going to want to watch till the end because I'm going to be revealing a tweet from a certain YouTuber who shows just how stupid Jake Paul is trying to fight these fighters. But before we get into it, first off, mean the world if you could like this video, and if you want more YouTube news like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. But besides that, let's get straight into this story. So as we all know, Jake Paul fought Nate Robinson about a couple of months ago and knocked him out so hard that he's still sleeping till this day. This set the internet by storm, with many celebrities reacting and wanting their revenge on the YouTube star. And although other NBA players and fighters have set their eyes to take down the Paul brother, Jake has one fighter on his wish list this Christmas season. In a tweet posted about a week ago, Jake Paul titled it "Signed the Contract at Notorious MMA," and here is what he had to say.
What the f is up, you Irish kids? Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now, or maybe you're jacking off because you're sick. Your wife, I mean, she's a 4. Conor, you could do a lot better, but happy Monday. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds, the biggest fight offer you've ever been offered, but you're scared to fight me, Conor. You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a YouTuber. You're 0-1 as a boxer. I'm 2-0 as a boxer. I just came off the 8th biggest pay-per-view event in history, but you want to fight Dustin Prober, who has less followers on Instagram than my dog. That's a fact. And Dana White, you're a too, you ugly bald. You said there's 0% chance of this fight happening, but there's 0% chance of you getting some. Conor, you're scared. Dana, you're scared. Sign the contract, you idiots. Jesus Christ. Irish dog.
Okay, so Jake Paul really flexing his undefeated 2-0 boxing record when he's versed a YouTuber who was half his size and doesn't box, and knocked out an NBA player who only had months to train and half his size as well. Like, Jake, you're not beating up world-class athletes, you're just knocking out plumbers at this point. This video shocked the world as everyone knows Jake Paul is signing up for suicide if he goes through with this fight. Conor McGregor is one of the greatest fighters in UFC, and even his brother Logan Paul knows that Jake made a huge mistake in calling out one of the GOATs in UFC. So here's what he had to say.
This one's tough. Somebody said to this, I don't mean this figuratively, I mean it literally. You're gonna step in the ring or octagon with someone who can really do you harm, and you will be carried out in a hearse. Get mental help. You are picking a fight with the best striker MMA has ever seen. Get help. It's always tough when you see people wading into waters that they don't understand. Like we've seen Conor in public. Like, Conor will kill you no matter what Jake did to Nate Robinson or to Deji. Conor McGregor is a trained murderer.
This concerns me. I don't think he's the one. That's a hard stop. Yeah, I don't think Conor McGregor's the one. I love Jake, obviously, but this one is dumb.
So Logan Paul is right in saying that fighting Conor McGregor is a whole nother level that Jake is not prepared for. From Conor's side, accepting this fight would be a lose-lose situation for his legacy. If Conor accepts the fight and wins, then everyone saw that coming, so it's not a big deal. But if Jake miraculously wins, then it will look bad on Conor's career. Although there is a hefty bag attached to this fight, Conor knows that from a business standpoint that accepting this fight will only benefit Jake Paul the most. Jake gets exposure, he'll be able to fight a pro fighter and get big money from having Conor McGregor's name in this pay-per-view match. Jake Paul, however, will do anything to get this fight and decides to call them out one more time in a tweet titled MMA Chronicles, so this is what he had to say.
Oh, Nick, who the f is this little Jake Paul kid? Little blind. I just Stockholm set the shit out of him. Little punk.
Bro, he FaceTimed my girl. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to fight him because I'm only good at jujitsu. Like, I'm blaming my knee injury because I'm fucking...
Dylan Dennis, is that you?
Oh, you want a picture?
Michael Bisping here, and Jake Paul, I'm watching you.
You guys want a picture?
Oh, what do you think of Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor?
No, I think you should fight Amanda Nunes. I mean, I have a small penis and I suck Conor McGregor's all day long. Oh, Conor!
Who the fuck is that guy? I wipe my ass with 50 million, Dana. Fool!
Ben asking, is it true that you play Napoleon in Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes. I'm focused more on my gambling addiction right now versus the Jake Paul fight. Let's talk about Trump.
I'm getting out of the fight business, so I'm telling you, the whiskey is where it's at. Fuck this little blonde kid.
You got knocked out in 5 seconds by Jorge Masvidal. Do you last longer in a fight or longer in bed?
In bed.
He called my wife a whore. but he can hold all 4 of my nutsacks.
Okay, so the first person he dissed in this video is Nate Diaz, who called him out on Twitter after posting the first video about Conor and said, "Jake Paul, you need your ass beat for free. You spoiled. F you can't really fight dumb stuff. You're gonna end up with your ass whooped for real somewhere," talking like that, which Jake then responded to saying, "You saw what happened to the other Nate." The next person was Dylan Dennis, who was another fighter that Jake trolled by throwing toilet paper and water balloons at while he was being interviewed. He then proceeds to call out Dana White and Conor by the end of it. Now at this point, he tries to start beef with any MMA fighter who's willing to sign him, because all he needs is that one fighter to bite on his bait of him calling them out, and he gets money and more popularity. I think deep down Jake knows he can't win these fights, but he does it because he knows the type of money it can get him. But his prayer was finally answered when UFC fighter Ben Askren posted this on Twitter.
Paul, I do accept. I know you called me out after your last fight against that bum Nate Robinson, and listen, it's a pretty simple choice. I'm going to make a whole bunch of money to beat up a guy who is pretending to be an athlete. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. And I know you may think I do not have too many stand-up skills, but also at the end of the day, I don't really need to. Okay? I'm a world-class athlete. I've won NCAA titles. I've been in the Olympics. I won belts in multiple mixed martial arts organizations. And quite frankly, I am impressed that you deluded yourself into thinking you are actually a fighter. That you are really tough, that you can really box. It's quite impressive that beating up another YouTuber and beating up a boxer who looked like he'd never been in the ring before makes you somehow good at boxing. Because it doesn't. So yes, Jake, I accept. I will see you March 28th in Los Angeles.
So Ben Askren as of lately hasn't had the best popularity in UFC, but this dude has a 19-2-0 record in professional MMA fighting. Yes, he may be more of a wrestler, but if you think Jake Paul will win this fight, I'm sorry, but that will not happen. Now, I don't know what's going on in America, but I found out that Ben Askren opens as the underdog for the boxing match against Jake Paul. I gotta admit, Jake Paul has marketed himself so well, he made himself look in favor of winning a fight against a professional MMA fighter. If you want to make $1 million right now, you might want to put some money on Askren winning this fight, because Jake Paul's 2-0 record in boxing is not even against real fighters. Ben has fought real fighters even if it's a UFC, and this is a very difficult spot for Jake Paul because everything is riding on this one fight. If he loses, which is most likely going to happen, then no one will want to fight Jake Paul, so this could potentially ruin his boxing career for good. Yes, he may get fights against other influencers, but if he can't beat Ben, then his chance of getting a fight with someone like Conor McGregor is definitely not going to happen. He chose this fight wisely because Askren is considered to be one of the worst strikers in UFC, but at the same time, it's a big risk Jake Paul runs if he does lose this fight. Logan Paul also runs into the same issue, as we all know his fight with Floyd Money Mayweather is coming up. If he loses as well, then his chance to fight pro boxers in the future are slim to none. Nico Amilano, who is a great YouTuber from the UK, made the perfect tweet saying, "Logan and Jake Paul asking to fight pro boxers is like if the Sidemen asked to play Barcelona just because they won a charity match." And to be honest, this is a spot on tweet. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.